Welcome to In My Bag with Backpack Jeff, where we connect with ordinary people doing extraordinary things. And today I got a very special guest with me, a fellow poet friend of mine, a newly retired Air Force woman, a business owner. We're going to talk about her business as well. Y'all know how we do, man. We always connecting with ordinary people doing extraordinary things. How you doing, Lisha?
I'm doing pretty good.
You doing good? Thank you for coming on to the podcast with me. Thanks for coming and being in your bag with me today.
Razzle dazzle.
How you been? How's your new year been going so far?
It's been going really good. I had little hiccups. I bought a house last year, so
slight flex. Let's start there. She bought a house last year.
Little something.
How was that?
It was a process. I had a lot of things go not typically wrong, but a lot of things that I should have looked at before purchasing it. So just finding different knickknacks and different sales and different ways of going around, different contractors. So it was a process.
It was a process.
It was a hell of a process, but it's been good. It's been a learning curve. A lot of things I want to do later on in life. So it's been building up. It's definitely building up.
That's good. So that's exciting. And how old are you, if you don't mind?
30.
30, okay.
Just turned 30.
Just turned 30. Okay, well, happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, happy belated birthday. So buying a house under 30 years old, congratulations. That's a heck of an accomplishment.
Thank you.
I see so many women who are under 30 years old and that are just doing amazing things, and you're one of them. And that's why I was like, yo, I got to get her on my podcast. She's also a workout enthusiast. She's always posting workouts, and we're gonna talk about that too. So and what made you say at 29 years old I wanted to buy a house? Like, what made you want to make that move? Because that's a lifetime decision.
So one thing about the whole reason I wanted to purchase a house was to rent it out. So basically it's called house hacking, where you're renting out different rooms within your house. So it wasn't typically for me. I just wanted to purchase something that could make me money later on in the end. So that was the goal for that one. Then my next house would be doing the same thing, and the next one probably be the one that I want to keep. But it's going to keep going down that route. So
Hey, listen, that's what entrepreneurs do. But I was just listening to this guy who said he bought a house, and then eventually he was living in his garage. He set up a bed, put it in the garage, was living in the garage, and was renting out each of the rooms in the house for like $600 a room.
I mean, it's love, and the rate for DC, you're not looking at rent under $900, and somebody has a mortgage. Your mortgage is what, like 18 under 21. So you got 4 rooms. You got $900. You coming off of something.
So have you rented out any rooms yet?
I have one. I have 2 going right now. So right now I'm renovating. I am trying to save money, so I am YouTubing how to build a bathroom from scratch. So taking out the towels, taking out the flooring, new tub, tile, everything. So redoing the flooring in the master bedroom, and then renting that out. So
wow. So you're not even in the master bedroom in your own house.
I'm in the basement. So I have a basement that has its own bedroom, bathroom.
So. Do y'all hear this? Do y'all hear this? She's not even.
Not playing.
Yes.
Okay, not playing.
So you're in the basement of your own house. You're gonna rent out the master bedroom in your own house, and you're at YouTube University right now.
Yes. I am a scholar, okay? I'm a scholar.
Look, I was doing an event a couple of weeks ago, and somebody asked me, well, how did you learn how to do that? I said, listen, I have my master's from Google and YouTube University. You hear me? I am a proud graduate. I'm working on my PhD now.
Heck yeah.
You can learn so much on YouTube. So you're learning how to redo the bathroom, redo the tile, redo the flooring. What made you say, what made you say that this was the idea, that this was the path that I wanted to take?
Money. Saving money, that was the biggest thing. Generational wealth, creating that as some type platform, and I know that getting into real estate is definitely a key factor in that. So something within my means, I don't have $30,000 to drop on a house to buy an investment property, but I do have enough to use my VA loan, what's afforded to me, and purchase a property and then rent out certain portions of it to make me money. So it's a starting point, but it's
a starting point. Yeah, hey, it's definitely going to pay off. That's crazy.
I'm excited.
She's a hustler.
Once I get done this bathrooms and all that stuff I got to do, it's been
And so you're doing it yourself, like doing it as a slow process. That's amazing, man. Like, oh man, there's so many different little hacks that you can do like that a lot of people, for some reason, they won't do or they don't know that they can do. But listen, y'all already know how this podcast go, man. We always giving out free game. All right, this is something that you can do. All right, this is something that you can do. We always giving out free game. Wow. Man, I didn't even know that, y'all. Like, I'm astounded because I'm like, I just listened to this on the podcast. All right, so bought the house, renting out the rooms. That's amazing. You just retired from the Air Force.
Yes.
Congratulations to you on that. Thank you for your service. Thank you for the dedication and the hours that you have put in to that. Being in the Air Force, have you gone skydiving?
I went skydiving outside the Air Force.
Outside the Air Force. What was that experience like?
Insane.
In what way?
For my reason, I probably wouldn't do it again. But I encourage everyone to do it at least once. I think for what I did wrong was I was the last person to get off the plane. So watching everyone else jump out was the scariest thing to me, and I will never want to do it again just for that reason.
Really?
But the act in itself of jumping off and like feeling that freedom and the wind in your face and like just looking out, and it's nothing like you've ever seen before.
Right.
How beautiful the sky and the ground, and like if you're over top of water. I did it in Hawaii, so it was beautiful to look at. But
well, I did mine in Baltimore. It was just some stuff, but it was good.
You did it though, okay?
I
it's the
did.
experience, okay?
But look, I was the first one to go out. When you go skydiving, you know, it's people are like, "Oh, you crazy," and I'm like, "Yo, that I've never felt more alive than when I went skydiving." It was a close second when I went to a Tony Robbins event, and then it was a close third after, like, you know, a successful poetry night or something like that. But when I went skydiving, I literally landed and was like, yo, I can jump off of a tall building right now and survive. I can leap the state capitol right now. I swear. Like, if I tried, I know I can leap
I can try.
Yeah, I can definitely leap this joint a single bound.
Things, but it's okay. No, it was beautiful. I think the scariest part for me was leading up to that edge of being on the plane versus jumping off. And that's when you're like, okay, am I going to do it? I'm going to be a punk. Am I going to, all right, what am I going to do? That's where it was scary for me. But once you leap, it just feels free.
Yeah. Did you have anybody like telling you, like did you tell anybody that you were going to do it before you went and did it?
So I did it for my 28th birthday, 28th birthday. And I had 2 friends with me. So
they went too?
We all went together. It was like a girls.
Who was the most nervous? Was anybody the most nervous? You were?
Me. And I'm like the thrill person. Like, I love this. I was like, are we gonna do what? I think so. I didn't plan the trip. A friend of mine did. She planned the skydiving, the location it was at. So when we drove up to it, it was some rinky-dink farmhouse in the middle of nowhere. So I'm like, what's the safety precautions of like being out here? Like, I don't feel like this is like up to par. So that's where it got nerve-wracking. But other than that, I wanted to do it. I said I was going to do it at 27. I said at 28, I'm going to go skydiving, and I want to do it out of Hawaii. Okay. So 28, I went to Hawaii and I skydove. So we went skydiving.
All right. So is there anything else that's on your bucket list, your adventurous bucket list that you want to do?
I want to go bungee jumping.
You want to go
bungee jumping? I want to go parasailing. I want to go.
Same.
Everything that
bungee jumping, parasailing. Do you want to swim with sharks?
Not necessarily. No. I mean, like being in the cage and doing it.
No.
Oh, like literally out in the sharks.
Not like the great whites and stuff like that though.
Like just, the little baby, like dolphins.
Not like the baby ones. not like those. Like the, you know, maybe like a tiger shark or something like that. You know.
And different strokes for different folks.
Will Smith did it.
Yeah, Will Smith can keep doing it.
You want to go in the lion's den?
No, I like to see a lion.
You don't want to like be up close to him?
Did you see Coming to America?
Not the number 2. I didn't see it yet.
Oh, there's a part in there where he has to do something with a lion, but never mind, you didn't see it.
Yeah, no, I want to be right there with the lions, with the tiger. You know,
I feel like you have like infatuation with death, and I
got an infatuation with adrenaline. Adrenaline feels good.
It's like fast cars, motorcycles.
Yeah, that's why I don't have a motorcycle. I don't trust myself.
I would die. I know I would. Yes.
Yeah, because I'm putting my life in the hands of thousands of drivers on the road, and I just don't trust.
And I have an adrenaline that even when I have I have a Nissan Rogue, which I call my mom's car, but I had a Nissan Maxima before it had a lot of power behind it. I would race anybody, any day, anytime, anywhere. I don't care what kind of car you had, what you did to it. I'm going to beat you. And that was an issue for me, and I got a lot of tickets to back it up.
Oh,
so,
man.
me having my mom car is good. It settles me down.
It settles you down. That's good. That's just like, yeah, no, I got an infatuation with adrenaline. It feels good. For some reason, I just love what that feels like. And like, if I had a motorcycle, I'd be like, let me see what 90 feels like. If I can go 90, I can definitely go 95. 90, the difference between 90 and 95 is not
120 is right there.
Right. And then if I'm at 95, I'm like, the difference between 95 and 100 is not, I mean, I might as well.
I could do 100 in a car. Imagine a motorcycle.
Yeah. What's the fastest you've ever driven?
I lived in Germany when I was 19 through 21. So the Autobahn, there's no speed limit on certain portions of it. The highest I hit was 167.
What? How? In what?
BMW.
Okay.
So it's made for it.
I guess so. Because I was like, it's 103 in a 4-cylinder feels like
you're gonna break apart. At 80 miles, you're shaking.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And the BMW. Okay. All right. That makes a lot of sense. So
it makes sense.
So what made you want to initially get into the Air Force?
Coming out of high school, I didn't have a plan.
Okay.
Like, I was very cautious of asking people for things. I didn't want my parents to spend money on me to go to college, me not know what my degree was going to be. I didn't know who or what I wanted to be in any shape or form. So me going to the Air Force, it gave me an opportunity to make money, travel, have a consistent income, meet different people, get out from my small town. It was the best decision I've ever made. I will encourage anyone coming out of high school, if you do not have a plan, Air Force is the way to go. I can't speak for Navy or Army or Marines. I'm always going to be an advocate for Air Force. So
you, as you should be, definitely got to root for the home team. That's amazing, and I hope a lot of kids that are going to listen to this podcast are honestly going to take what you just said and take it very serious. Number one, because a lot of them, they don't have a plan for what they want to do. And how many years were you in?
11.
11 years. Now, did you choose to do 11 years? Were there different options, or did you just
So you can do 4 to 6 years, and however that calculates up, you just add up to there.
So you don't even have to do the 11 years like you did.
You can do 4 years and get out, go to school,
right,
to get your degree. You can do 6 years. That just gets you closer to the 20. You won't have to worry about re-enlisting and all that good stuff.
And grab experience. I think so. For me, going away to college, being away from my family, being away from them, it really kind of forced me to kind of grow up, and then it forced me to experience life. And I would imagine it was the same experience for you.
Same. So coming straight out of high school, my first base, which I wanted to be close to home, was in Germany. So I literally was coming out of high school and shipping me off from a small town to a whole different country, around a whole different type of people, environment, their way of life. Everything was different. So it definitely gave me the opportunity to meet people outside of who I've known, and just gave me that extra little experience.
Did you learn how to speak their language?
No. So German is ugly. Not gonna, I shouldn't say that. Their language sounds like and it's just not attractive. But I know hello.
Okay.
Hello. Good morning, guten Tag, stuff like that. But I'm not speaking. No, I'm okay.
I asked because my cousin, he lives in Germany now, and he speaks German, and it does sound like rubbish a little bit. So okay, all right.
I'm cool.
Yeah. No, leaving home. I think a lot of people should leave home. I think that's an experience that people need to have, is being away and just kind of relying on yourself, learning how to rely on yourself, because now you don't have someone waking you up out of the bed like your parents do in the morning. You don't have them telling you need to be here, you need to do that. It kind of forces you to grow up and kind of get into an adult-like space. And then, but you still have that structure of, like me, I was in school, and then like you were, in the Air Force. You still have some structure, but you also have to do this yourself. Like there's no one babying you anymore. There's no one holding your hand.
At all. I know my first 4 years of being in the military was the first time I ever had money. And yeah, it was terrible. It was so terrible. I would get paid on a Thursday, and by Friday morning, I would have like $1.50 in my account.
Yeah. What were you spending it on in Germany?
Nothing. I would be at the store buying clothes, or like I bought an iPad, or like random things, and then just look up and be like, "Where'd my money go?"
How did you get money smart?
I went to see a financial advisor when I was 23, 24. And he taught me a lot of things. And then just being around people who were wise with their money kind of just rubbed off on me. Like, okay, because growing up, we weren't taught about finances and like what you could do, a savings, like what you could save, credit, none of that nature. So getting out of the house and being around other people, it was like, like y'all got $100 saved?
Right.
How you do that? And it's like, it's only $100 now, but like it's $100 that I didn't have. So just small increments of that just kind of got me on the right path of being financially stable and smart with my money. So
yeah. And at 23 years old, I think, man, I'm telling you, I wish I would have got it at 23. It didn't hit me until like 25, but by that time, my kid was already like 6 years old, and I'm like already fully invested in my kid and stuff like that. And I had made so many horrible decisions that I still had to pay, that I had to make up for, just not having that financial guidance. And like you said, not being taught in high school and stuff like that about credit, about how to save money or why saving money is important. Man, I looked at my mom like, Mom, if you would have took $1,000 and put it in Apple stock when we was like 15, you'd be rich right now. You wouldn't even have to work. Like,
none of us would have to. Man,
like just $1,000 in Apple stock at that time in like 2000. You would have,
and not knowing. So now it's like I have a lot of younger siblings, and my younger brother, I'm really adamant on like, okay, this is what I know, this is what you're gonna know,
right?
Because you're 19 now. If I was 19, knowing what I know now,
oh man, a match.
I'll be lethal. I will be lethal. I'll be rich. I'll be lethal. Yes. So I want to get him. That's my main focus right now, is making sure that I'm setting up the people behind me who don't have that, or who just won't make the same mistakes that I did. I feel like a lot of families, they go around that. Like my parents know what I should have known back then, but the information wasn't given. So it's like now it's like, okay, how can we rewrap this cycle that keeps continuing through generation to generation? So I'm just really big on, all right, if I know it, you're going to know it. So now we can pass it down.
Giving free game. And that's I literally just said before you walked in, I was like, yo, I'm done answering questions because I give it all in the podcast. We're 20 minutes in and we've already given so much information to people, you know what I mean, in regards to what they can do, how they should do it, you know what I mean? And like that was my thing. Like with my younger brother, I said to him, I was like, yo, you're not ready to go to college right after school. You don't know what you want to do. Come live with me. Take a gap year is now what it's called. Take a gap year and figure out what it is that you want to do. Save some money. Learn about money. Get yourself a car. Build yourself credit. You know what I mean? Do those things first. And now at 24 years old, I'm looking at his life and I'm just like, yo, oh man. And I'm like, dang it. You know what I mean? Because he's got a 2020 Honda Civic. Bought it with 0 miles on it, and his car payment is $300. I got a 2016 Toyota Camry, and my payment, I bought it with like 30,000 miles on it. My payment is $500. You know what the difference is? The knowledge that he had versus the knowledge that and I'm like, man, if I had someone to guide, and that's our responsibility as older siblings to reach down to our younger siblings and say, hey, look, you're not about to go through the same thing. If I let you go through the same thing that I went through, wow.
Why'd I even learn? Why'd I even go through this? Why'd I even go through that thing to not learn from it, to not teach it later on?
Right.
So it's a huge thing. Another thing about credit, what I've been doing is another way to build credit for somebody who doesn't have it is make someone an authorized user on a credit card that has a lot of years on it and good credit. They inherit the credit without inheriting like you don't actually have to give them a card or anything of that nature. But if you make them an authorized user on a card, it makes them a little better. It builds up their credit up. So
yo, I did not know that. Okay, authorized user.
Look, Look.
All right, authorized users. That's what we need to be doing for our kids, is making them authorized users to build that credit.
All you have to do
at a young
but make
age.
sure you are good with your credit. Do not
not
set your baby up.
Kids up. Do
Make
not
sure.
set them kids up. Make sure that you are good with your credit and it has good history. No, you're absolutely right. We want them to start, with a leg up. We want them. I say I want my daughter to start in a penthouse suite. I don't want her to have to start on the ground floor. You know what I mean? I want you to be looking out of the penthouse suite and then look down and say, hey, look, I'm gonna build my empire right next to my dad's empire. Right next to my mom's empire. That's what I want for them. That is amazing. So, You got the house, you're renting out the rooms, you're in the basement. Man, that's huge right there.
My basement is nice. No,
I mean, obviously, if it's a house, obviously the basement is going to be, this is a finished basement. This ain't an unfinished basement where there's drywall still.
It's nice.
And you still see the mud on it.
I'm on the trenches.
But putting yourself in that situation, I think it makes sense in the long run. And now you probably don't even have a mortgage. You're probably not even paying for your mortgage. The people that are renting it out are probably paying for the mortgage.
I cannot confirm nor deny.
No, I'm not going to, nor deny. They're not going to listen to this podcast, hopefully.
Everyone's going to listen to this podcast.
Hey, everybody better listen to this podcast. You hear me? Free game. All right. So I also know that you are a business owner. When we first met, that was one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you, because I was like, yo, I need help planning this book release event. You're an event planner, and this is what I wanted to tell you. I am looking at an event space. I just went and looked at 2 event spaces yesterday. I'm going to go look at 3 more event spaces this weekend. So if you need a space to rent out for your people, you already know. And it's going to be right down in Temple Hills. I looked at some amazing. The pictures online. Oh my gosh, they look amazing. There's so much that we are going to do in this event space, from first time home buyer seminars and workshops, credit building workshops, comedy, kickback comedy nights, kickback poetry nights. We're going to do social media workshops, podcasting. There's going to be you can record your podcast. You can do photo shoots. So photo shoot studios. We talked about AA meetings. We talked about drug abuse meetings and stuff like that. We're literally going to maximize this space.
The potential of it, yes.
Oh my goodness. And turn this into something super special. You hear me?
Yes.
So when you have those events, let us know. Tell me, how'd you get into event planning?
So event planning events personally was my thing growing up in general. So at my apartment, I would have random parties for no reason. I had a table that I got from the store, and I didn't want to put together. So I had to put together a table party, and I made the food. I bought the people.
Wait, time out. You had a put together my table party?
For no reason. But
if that's not innovative, I don't know what is.
I would do it for random things, and I ended up, they put together my table. I made the drinks. I made the food. I made the environment for them to come to. And we had a great night. Like, played games, like, made sure the environment was really good.
Right.
That was something I did before even knowing I wanted to be an event planner. When it came to, I didn't even know entrepreneurship was really a thing until I met someone who took me to an entrepreneur event where everyone was telling what their goals and their dreams were. And I was like, you guys have your own personal passions? You're not just like in a career working a 9 to 5, like that's a thing here. What? So it led me on a path of like, okay, like what's my passion? Like what do I want to do? Like how? Okay. And I started going back and forth with, okay, I love helping people. I love making people feel amazing. That's my thing. And then I just like, all right, I know that about myself. All right, what else is there? And it took a lot of soul searching. And then I had a friend of mine say like, why don't you be an event planner? I was like,
That's
event planner?
Yes.
That's it. I started crying and everything. I was in the middle. I was in Safeway in the aisle, and I was like, I'm an event planner. So cheesy. But it definitely caught me by surprise. And since then, it's been trial and error and just learning different pathways, because there's a lot of different avenues you can take with being an event planner. So just learning your niche, learning what's best for you, learning what works for you, learning how to build different, not clientele as well, but different partnerships with different vendors and all types of things. So It was good.
That's amazing. So I want to start here. You said you went to a seminar or you went to a conference or something like that. Do you remember who you went to see or who went to?
No, so it was it was like a mixer. It was
like a networking.
like a networking mixer. So everyone was just saying like, hey, like I do this and I do this. And I was like, oh, they're like, what do you do? I was like, I'm in the Air Force. I don't know. I'm working on it.
Yeah, right.
So it just took me down a path of trying to figure out, okay, outside of what society teaches us to work a 9 to 5, what else is there for me about me that I can give to the world versus what I'm just taught or like told that I should be doing.
Right. Yeah, and I think, and see, that's one of the things that I want to do as well in this space is I want to have those mixers. I want to have those networking events because in those events are where you meet some of the people that can help you, that can change your life, you know, and it literally kind of turns a light bulb on and just says like, yo, like just like for you, you know what I mean? You're in the Air Force. And now it's like, all right, I'm around all of these people who actually are doing what they want to do and working on making a way for themselves. And now you know it's possible. And now that you know that it's possible, now like, look, here's the right.
And once you start that little fire, it's like it won't go out. It's like I gotta itch that scratch. Like what can I do?
I call it transferring the fire, right? So it's the idea is a spark, right? Now you gotta light that spark and put it on a match, right? And now once you got your match, and what you have to do is that match is eventually gonna burn out. So now you gotta take that and you gotta put it on a candle, right? You gotta keep transferring the fire, but eventually what happens to that candle? That wick is gonna go. You gotta put it on another candle, and then you got to keep transferring the fire
building from there
until you get it to where the fire is blazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right. And then eventually it can't be put out, and this fire can't be put out. And now you have something that is sustainable, that is just going to breathe on its own. So that's amazing.
Thank you.
I'm oh man, I love this. I didn't know what to expect. I already knew that I was going to expect something great, but I'm getting so much more than I even expected. So with doing event planning, what challenges have you ran into with event planning? Can you tell us a story or give us a little bit of free game?
So there's a lot of trial and error when it comes to event planning. Whether it's having the equipment that you need. So starting out, your main focus is having a portfolio. And one of the hardest things for me was putting a price point on like things that I could do, because you can't say, hey, even though I know other event planners charge $5,000 for this, you've never seen my work. I don't have any work to show you, but hey, give me $5,000. Right? It doesn't make sense. Right. So I struggled with finding my voice in that, and a couple of underbid myself a lot. Ooh. A lot. A whole lot. Oh, Jesus Christ. But they do say in your first year, first like 1 to 2 years, you are going to lose out on a lot of money trying to figure out what's best, what works for you, what's good, all that kind of stuff. So yes, I had an event planner that I spoke to. She's been doing this for like 20 years. And I had mentioned to her, because I was very hurt by one event that I did. And I had told her how much I made and like what I did. And she was like, you did what? For what? She was like, that's $1,000s job, and you did it for hundreds of dollars.
Really?
Thousands. I was like, what? And I knew it. It was just at that moment, I can't prove what, but that even though that was a huge hit, that event was a huge hit to my ego. It was a huge hit to how much work I put into it, and just that payback wasn't what it was supposed to be.
So wait, you said it was a huge hit, like in a good way, like
no, in a heart and like a. Because if you put so much effort and work into something and you don't get what you think you're supposed to get, it's just like, but I didn't put a price point, so I can't be mad at something I didn't set forward. I didn't set the standard. So that moment for me, that was one of my first events that I ever did, and it taught me, oh, y'all don't get these prices. Yeah, I was like, y'all get these prices, but it was definitely a learning curve to show me like, okay. All right, how can we pivot from this? How can we learn? Because entrepreneurship is trial and error. It is. Nothing is going to go the way that you think it's going to go. And you always got to have a backup plan, and how you pivot is how you're going to be successful. If I can take a hit and pivot and learn and grow, okay, this takes you to another step, another level. You might get hit again, but all right, can you pivot and keep growing? And that's how I feel like that's the level that's the way to success.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely believe so. Being able to pivot. That's one of the things. Like when I started doing poetry, and people ask me, what do you charge? And I'm like, well,
my words.
What you gonna give me? And in the beginning, I was happy to get $50 for 10 minutes. I was like, yo, this is good. And so now I've gotten to the point where I'm like, number one, I don't have to say yes to everything, because I have so much other stuff that's going on that I don't have to say yes to everything. And now I don't have to say yes to $100 event.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I know where I'm at. This has to be more beneficial to me than just the $100.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if I believe that I can make something more off of it, because honestly, where I'm at right now, it should be around $400 or $500 for a feature. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, let me see what I can work from this.
Right.
If I believe there's more opportunity within this opportunity, I'm definitely going to take the opportunity.
Smart.
Right. So now that you are where you are with event planning, do you have a price point for a particular event?
Yes, but it's like, for example, there's so many different variations of events. So the amount of people you have, what do you actually need from me? So there really there's a pricing point for certain things. So if you want to rent a photo backdrop, or you want a design that I already have that I know, or things of that nature, that's when it's a price point. But it depends on what you have going on. Every event is unique to itself. Right. And everyone wants something different. You might want extra blue. You might want extra light. It just depends. So.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That makes 100% sense. Okay. So now that you're retired from the Air Force, what's next for you? Are you diving full time into event planning? Are you going back to school? A
little bit of everything. Diving full time into entrepreneurship in general. So I have my event planning business. I have my fitness clothing line, NewbieQ.
We definitely gonna get there too.
That's my baby. Going to school as well. Majoring in business administration, and then minoring in marketing. And yeah, I want to see, because the Air Force has afforded me a cushion and a comfortability that kind of put me into a box. Not saying the box is bad, I'm just saying it's a box. I want to break out of that and see exactly what I'm made of, and how can I become my best self in every way, versus having that cushion that was behind me. I'm still reserved, so I'm not fully out. I got my pinky toe in, just dabbling, but it definitely gives me the freedom and the time. When I was in, it was very hard to run two businesses, be a flight attendant in the Air Force, travel all the time, and go to school. It was impossible. It wasn't impossible. It was just extremely hard. So if something had to go, it had to be something that wasn't a part of my passion.
Right. So, yeah. Okay. And I know when I first met, I think it was like 2 years ago, you were doing the event planning and stuff like that, and you stopped doing the event planning a little bit just because obligations with the Air Force and stuff like that. But now, like you said, now that you're in the reserves, now you have more time to invest and learn more about yourself and what it is that you're passionate about. Exactly. So that's amazing. Now you dropped a bomb on us with the newbie with the NewbieQ fashion clothing line, workout gear. Yeah, when I saw that joint drop, I was like, that makes sense for her. I was like, because number one, you are one of the hardest working people that I have ever seen, not just in work, but in working out. Like during COVID, you were one of the people who didn't slow down during COVID. You felt like you was running up the steps. Okay?
Working out kept me sane. I was losing it.
I'm watching you run up the steps in the apartment. You doing bunny hops up the steps and stuff. I'm like, yo, she is out there. So what made you want to do your own clothing line? Because most people would just be like, yo, I'm just going to wear this Nike. I'm going to wear this Fabletics or something like that.
For me, I wanted to, first thing, so my shape is different. And it's hard for me to find fitness clothing that fits me. And as hard as I do work out, it's hard for me to find fitness clothes that stay up and support me the way that I wanted them to.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, I wanted people to wear something that not only felt good, but looked good and
Right.
also complemented skin tone, and it's just Black owned and made by women for women. I wanted a whole, just an empire built off of just like women coming together and just feeling their best selves. So when it came to me transitioning from just working out and doing different workouts, it just made sense to me. Like, okay, if I can't find it in the stores, why don't I create it?
Right.
And then if I know there's somebody like me out there who also can't find certain colors or certain fits or certain shapes or certain types they want.
Right.
So why not create the platform for that next person so they can feel included in a workout world that is made for predominantly skinny people who don't have shape. So
Right.
I wanted something that supported everyone in that way. That was the look
All
behind
right.
me.
Okay. So listen, that's genius in and of itself. So like if the people who listen to this podcast can they get like a 10% discount on the
I feel like we can work with something.
I feel like we can work out a little affiliate link or something like that, you know? Yeah, absolutely. Say, I listen to the podcast and listen. This isn't going to be. And we're like 30 minutes in, so you really got to listen to the podcast to get to this part. If you want that 10% off, if you want that 10% off, yeah, yo, that's dope.
It's been love.
I'm with you. I definitely want to look into doing something for men on the lines of, it's so hard to find jeans for like men, because I'm not skinny and I'm not short. Like they make jeans for like little dudes who are like 5'6", 140, and it's like, why they get all the jeans?
Like,
you know,
what about me?
Like, what about the dudes that are? And then also the like, I need a large shirt that's like long arms, because there's so many basketball players out here who are like 6'6" and stuff like that, but they're skin, or they're slim, or they're athletic built. You know what I mean? So like, you don't want to go up to an extra large, because then it's going to be super puffy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Not gonna look right.
Yeah, it's not going to look right. It's going to look like it's swallowing you. You know what I mean? So. I definitely wanted to do something like that as well. But yeah, when I saw it drop, like I saw how much love you got. I was like,
it was amazing. So something that happened. My sister, my older sister, she is my rock. She is my safe space. She is my mentor. She's a person I go to for everything and anything. And when it came time for NewbieQ to drop, I had a fluke that happened with my website.
Ooh.
So basically, I'd hired somebody maybe like a week out to do the website and get everything straight, and there was some miscommunications. And about 2 hours, 2 hours before I was supposed to launch, it was hey, we got to push it back till tomorrow. What do you mean we have to push what back till tomorrow? So that became like a conversation that needed to be had. I called my sister up, and me, her, and my best friend Webb. She had my pictures. She was editing pictures, sending to Khadijah. Khadijah was making the website. I was over here trying to put all the lingo in, and we all three of us sat there, created, launched, and put together a whole website in 2 hours. So that
teamwork make the dream work.
Women will make it happen. Okay,
Listen,
there's nothing that was going to stop me from launching NewbieQ. Okay,
and the thing is nobody would have ever known that, because it seemed like it was such a easy launch, you know what I mean?
Super easy. Yeah. I was stressed. I was so stressed.
But it happened. You know, I have in my poem, Inspiring Woman, behind every successful woman is a tribe of other successful women who have her back to help her in business. And that's beautiful to see that you have those sisters, you know what I mean, behind who have you, who have your back, and who are literally staying up until the wee hours of the night, maybe, and putting in hard work.
When I say we were struggling, like it was on. Look, one was on FaceTime, one was on the phone call, and we just what we need to do. All right, I'm typing away, they typing away, and we got it done. But the support that I got behind NewbieQ was beautiful.
Were you shocked at all? Did it
yes?
Because sometimes you don't even know how many people support you for
don't
real
know at all
until you release something.
It was like I had old friends from Germany. I had family members I hadn't talked to in forever. Everyone's like, I'm so proud of you. Everyone was purchasing. I feel like up until my maybe 123rd order, it was like family and friends, like, and it was all within the first 2 days of launching. So like it literally was just support after support after support, and it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful.
Wow,
I'm very happy. And then knowing that I have people behind me that will support something that I put without even knowing like what I'm about to do. Is like, hey, like whatever you got, I got you.
Yeah.
Like so, it's been really good.
That's dope. So where can they get? So some people are going to listen to this on they're going to listen to this on Apple and stuff like that. And I'm going to put the website in the description. But what's the website where they can get it? Can they still get it now? You haven't sold out, have you?
No.
Okay.
We have inventory. We're flowing. Okay.
All right.
But they can find it at www.nubiqfitness.com. Nubiq is spelled NUBIQ fitness.com.
Okay.
That's where they can find it.
How did you come up with the name?
Nubian Queen. Right? It just flows, right?
If I was on a breakfast club, I'd be like, drop one of DJ Clue's bombs real quick for New
It just flowed. It really, right? You wasn't expecting that, but you expected that.
I was like, where did the name come from? Nubiq. Nubian Queen. Yeah, I dropped one of DJ Clue's bombs, man.
It's going to be, so eventually with Nubiq, I want it to be Nubian Queen, and then I want Nubi K, Nubian King, and then Nubi P, it could be Nubi Prince, Nubi Princess. It could be a different genre. So that's the flow we're going down. It's gonna be right. It's an empire. Definitely building something.
That's fire. I definitely believe that you are building something. Yo, that's crazy. You hear me? That's an amazing way to get a name. All right, so Nubiq. Okay, that makes more sense to me now. I was wondering. I was like, all right, where did the name? I like the name.
But where did
I'm an information whore, so I need to know things. There's just certain things that I want to know. You know what I mean? Like just random facts that, hey, did you know this? I didn't know that snakes poop. For some reason, I didn't know that snakes. I didn't think that
fish
snakes
poop. What?
Yeah, I know that, but I just
scales.
didn't think that like snake, because I got my brother's snake here, and I'm like, yo, that. Is that what that is?
Is it big? I never seen snake poop.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like I've never seen it, so it never dawned on me that this happens. You know what I mean? True. Like in nature.
Very true.
So it was like, yo, like, this happens. And I gotta clean it.
Like,
right.
oh, like, what's snake poop look like?
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah. So, but yeah, okay, all right, cool.
It's been good.
That's amazing. So, one of the other things, you have so much going on, and I absolutely love it. And I definitely want to talk to you more, to converse with you more as you're going through your business degree and marketing and stuff like that, because what I'm trying to build here in the DMV area is a team of entrepreneurs, man, who are just supporting the hell out of each other. You hear me? Like, just because when I see, and I talk about this all the time, when I see the way that these entrepreneurs support each other in Atlanta, I'm like, why? I'm like, who are the people here that are doing what they are doing? I don't know them. So I said, okay, I'm going to create them.
Smart.
I'm going to, okay, all right, cool. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be the one that's going to create this. And that's the reason why I want the event space. That's the reason why I did the podcast, because we think like, we think that, you have to be some famous person to be a successful entrepreneur, when you don't
at all.
All you got to do is just know the game. You know what I mean? And if you know
network.
Yes, that's it. Know the game and network. And networking is so key. Like that's why
a cheat code.
It is. That's definitely the cheat code. Who you know is definitely the cheat code. Like who you know is definitely more important right now than what you know. Because what you know you can always get more knowledge.
Sounds good,
you can always get more information. But who you know,
they can put you in places you would have never been in if you didn't know that person. Listen.
And the only way to do that though is you got to go out, and you can't be afraid to go out. You can't be afraid to network and put yourself out there. But you're also I couldn't wait to talk to you about this. You're also a poet.
That's my baby.
Right. You're also a poet.
Yes.
And you had this poem that went mainstream viral. Like not just lightweight viral. I'm talking about mainstream. Over 1 million views on Facebook. When it gets over 1 million on Facebook, that's how you know when hundreds of thousands, millions of people have shared. What was that like? Obviously, you weren't trying to go viral. Tell us about the poem. I won't tell anybody about the poem. Tell us about the poem. What was the inspiration behind this poem? It was beautiful.
Okay. The poem that I wrote was a poem to my dad. And basically, throughout my whole life, my dad has been my rock in so many situations. And with, a lot of people passing away and things happening, I wanted to give him his flowers while I could. And the poem just came out of nowhere. Like, it's just as far as me writing it. And I just really wanted, he was coming up to see me perform. And I was like, oh, like I should do the poem for him. Like, that's the only, he
didn't even know.
He didn't even know. He had no idea. So he got there and like he comes up and like I'm already teary-eyed, like, oh my God, I'm already nervous doing poetry out loud anyway. So then for him to be there and like he's my number one supporter, like it's my daddy. I'm a full-time daddy's girl. Like I look like him, I act like him, we sound alike, we do everything, literally the same person.
Right.
So having him there was so special to me that I wanted it to be perfect. And it went perfectly. I don't even know how else to. Yeah. It was crazy.
Beautiful picture. That was such a special moment. And I'm gonna tell you about something at the end. At the end of this, that was about to happen. That was gonna mess up that moment. And I'm so glad I caught it and we saved it. But when you posted it and it started to gain traction, what was your thoughts?
Oh my God, that was I was like, because the only reason that I posted it on Facebook, my dad has an Android. Romance at the Android part. So I couldn't send him the length of the video was 6 minutes long. I couldn't send to him.
Because you couldn't airdrop it.
I couldn't airdrop it. I couldn't send through text messages. I was like, okay, well, I'll post it on Facebook and then you can get it from there. That's the only reason why I was on Facebook. So then for that, it was like, I had pictures and everything. It reached like 100 people. And I was like, 100 people? Like, oh, it was crazy. And it was like, every 30 minutes to an hour, it was like jumping by tens. Like it went from 100 people to 1,000. It was like 1,000 to 5,000 and 5,000 to 15 and 15 to 25. I'm just like, oh,
what's happening right now?
And this was all within maybe like 3 hours. I was like, yo, what is? And then the comments, it was such a beautiful moment, not just because I was able to get my dad his flowers, but the comments from that video were amazing. Whether it was women saying like, hey, I never experienced a love like that from my dad. Like I didn't know that was even possible. So hearing you say that, it kind of like, it makes me want to find somebody or make a better relationship with my dad. Or I had fathers who were getting on there saying that I want to become a better father because of this poem. I cried so many tears, and I thank God so much that he used me in that way. Like he used that poem, that special moment for my dad, and amplified it to the world to put something in somebody's spirit to want to become a better person. That is so much deeper than just, I just wrote a poem to say to my dad. Like it was life changing for a few people, more than a few people. And
it's like one of those things you didn't even know. Like this wasn't the intention. Like you said, this was just me giving my dad his flowers.
That was it.
I will say, being a girl dad, that listening to that poem it kind of gave me hope for my situation, and I was like, it's going to be better. It's going to be okay. And I was just in awe. And like when I saw it, I was like, yo. And what's crazy is that people I know that don't know you kept sending me this video. Oh, this reminds me of something that you would say. Oh, this is so good. You and your daughter. And I was like, guys, if you look in the back and the left, I'm actually right there. I'm actually right there watching this live. And so, I was like, yeah, no, I was there. I was listening to. I actually met her dad for the first time right before right before the event and stuff like that happened. So it was great. It was so inspirational. It was moving. It was touching, and it was just like the honest truth. Like this was you. These were like your vows to your dad. You know what I mean? Where it was like, yo, I'm showing my whole self to you right now. You know what I mean? Like I'm not holding anything back. And it was a beautiful moment. And I think that's why so many other people gravitated towards it. And I can only imagine what that felt like, having men say, yo, I want to be a better father because of something you wrote.
It was crazy. I mean, I had so many message requests, and just people like, oh my God, I cried. Even to this day, yesterday I got this was last year. This happened last year. I still get comments saying like, oh my God, I'm still crying about this, or this is still amazing, and random things. And it was a very beautiful moment. It just shows how God will use you, and you think you're so small. You think what you're doing is just like this little small little thing, and like He will shock the world with whatever you have, or just put it out there. It was amazing. Yeah. It was so amazing. And my dad still talks about it. He's still beaming.
Hey, listen, you are at every family reunion.
I'm the favorite. I said.
Baby, you remember that poem? Do that poem you did for me, baby. Do that poem you did for your daddy. Hey.
Everywhere. It was eye-opening for me, because not only was I telling my dad, how I felt about him being a great father, it was also me telling the world like how I actually felt, or like things that I went through as a child. So that was a vulnerable state that I can talk about relationships all day, but to talk about, childhood upbringings and things that happened around me that made me a certain way and all those things. It's a very vulnerable, transparent moment. That it was beautiful. Yeah. I still get teary-eyed watching the poem. And
listen, for good reason, to be completely honest with you. So after that, you were getting reached out to and stuff like that, by, to do interviews and stuff like. How was that? You were recently on the Kelly Clarkson.
They had contacted me. Yes. So basically they had I had somebody in DMs. Well, not in DMs. I shouldn't say that DMs. They had commented on the post and like, hey, like we're a representative of the Kelly Clarkson daytime talk show, and I was like, okay, like. They're probably scamming, right? Okay. So then I had a friend of mine go and do some research on the name, and it was like, oh, this is real. So I was like, oh, hey, how you doing? You doing great?
I need an @kellyclarkson.com email. Send me an email that says
what's your signature block?
Right. That's
So I ended up having an interview with them that went amazing, and she had to contact she had to talk to the producers and everything like that. And they went from there to actually interviewing my dad as well, and like getting us on there. But then COVID hit. Wow. And then that was the hater, right? Hater. So that put a damper in that, but just the opportunity to be there, and just to have that, to know that it got that far, to know that it was that good. That was the most amazing thing to me. It was just a beautiful moment that I was so shocked. I'm still in shock. And I cried for days after that, because it was like, you go through a lot of things in life and you don't know you're up from your down. You don't know where you're going. You don't know what you're trying to do, but you have these things that are happening. And as they start happening, they start making sense, and it's out of nowhere.
Right.
And like the dominoes start falling in line and creating this masterpiece. And you're like, God, where did this come from? Like, how did we get here? Right. And that was an eye-opening moment for me, because I was in a path of like, okay, what do I want to do? Because I wasn't out the military. What do I want to? I was doing my event planning, but still figuring out, okay, what's me? Like, what gets me? And like that just started happening, and it was such a very eye-opening moment. I wasn't expecting it. And this became into something that was beautiful.
Wow, that's such a beautiful picture. Now let me tell you how you had a little angel in the corner looking out for you, because there's a guy that comes to the poetry show. I'm not going to say any names, but he always comes and he like gives people these paintings and stuff like that, like when you're performing. And I saw him. I was in the corner. I saw him making his way to you. I said, oh, he's about to mess it up. You got to go and get him, bro. You got to go and get him. And that's why Orville ran in front of you and grabbed him and was like, hey.
It was a perfect interception.
I was like, bruh, if you see, to me, that's so selfish. Like, number one, I don't think you should be doing that while people are performing anyway, but especially when someone is pouring their heart out to their father. You would have essentially made that about you and about you giving out this painting as opposed to the moment. We needed to be in the moment.
And it made it like a break in the moment too. Like you could, even in the video, you could tell it was just like, everybody was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And that's like, okay, come back.
Listen, I was in the corner and I was just sitting there. I was like, oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I was like, oh, bruh, he's about to mess it up. I was like, get him, bruh. He was like, and then he went and got, and I was like, oh my God, thank you so much that he did not do that, because that would have taken away from that moment a little bit. And it would have just, it just wouldn't have been a moment. And I was like, I'm so happy that we were able to intercept that and get that out of there.
It was an interception. It legit was like, hey, boom, work.
Hey, come here, let me talk to you. Bruh.
What?
I get that you trying to do this thing, but chill. Now is not the time. You gotta know when you can do those things and when not to.
At the very end.
Yeah. At the very, not in the middle of the goddamn joint where everybody is like, yes, yeah. You know
it's
what I mean?
It's almost like in the middle of everybody being, yes, I'm gonna use this opportunity to put
myself out there. Yeah, right. Yeah, you know what I mean? To kind of put, man, don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that,
folks. Right. Yeah. Don't be trying to add yourself in there. Yo, I'm so happy for you. You have so many amazing things that's going on, and it was no coincidence that you were a person that I gravitated towards. Like when I first met you, and I was like, yo, she looks like a hustler, and I was just like, man. I remember too, when you was working out, you was like, yeah, come work out with me. I'll race you. And I was like, wait, what?
What's up?
We was running at the Redskins, at the Washington football team stadium. Yeah. I was like, yo, all right, yeah, let's do it. I'm also
extremely competitive, so
yeah.
I knew you fight faster than me. I was still going to try.
Still going. Still going. Definitely still going.
I was so dying.
Definitely still going. Yeah. So, you have the newbie queue. You're doing the event planning. You're doing some entrepreneurial stuff. Within your own personal, personal life and stuff like that. Where does Lisha want to end up? Like when this is all said and done, right? Mm-hmm. What does Lisha see for herself?
I want to be the reason why someone chose a different path. I want to stop the cycles within my family that are hindering us. Mm-hmm. And I want to inspire people to just want better out of life in any way. Mm-hmm. If that's just a conversation I can have, I'm giving a compliment, whether that's a podcast where somebody can listen to and get some nuggets, or that's just reading a post that I put up, that's some inspiring words that I have.
They're going to get some gems from this. They're going to get some nuggets from this.
I see myself really being happy. Mm-hmm. Happy, and when I turn 80 years old or 90 years old, I'm on that hospital bed or whatever, I can say like, I did good. Like,
right.
I gave back. I did what I was supposed to do. I put my best foot forward and I worked my hardest, and I don't want to have any regrets in any shape or form. Mm-hmm.
And, continuing to do what you're doing, I definitely don't think that you're going to have any regrets. And I'm super excited to be able to watch this journey and to watch you grow. I was just like, yo, I cannot believe this. Like I was talking to O about it, and I was like, bro, are you watching this? And he was like, yeah, I'm watching it. And then like I got off of Facebook and I came back and I was like, God, goodness gracious. I was like, hey, this was it, bro. This was it. She did her thing. All right, so we are at the point in the podcast where you see the fly backpacks right here, right? Mm-hmm. Where we like to go in our bag a little bit. And so it's been a long time since I've done this actually, because I always forget. But hold on, we're going
in the bag.
Let me see. We going in the bag for sure. Yeah, that's the win journal right there.
I love that.
Yeah. Winners write history, losers become a part of the story.
Hey.
Go and grab that, backpackjeff.com.
Immediately.
You hear me? So it's called Less Small Talk, More Genuine Conversation. Mm-hmm. And so basically it's just it's questions about this year and, some of the things that you are looking forward to this year. So we're going to start, and all you're going to do is just pick a number 1 through 6, mm-hmm. and then you just going to answer the question about, about life. And it's, these are easy questions. Ready?
I give my anxiety.
All right, so pick a number 1 through 6.
Let's go with 3.
Let's go with 3. Okay. Mm-hmm. Looking ahead to the upcoming year, what will you do that no one expects from you?
What would I do that no one expects from me? Probably start another business.
Start another business. Okay. Okay. All right. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely. All right. Pick another one. 1 through 2.
Let's go with 4.
Let's go with 4. She like 3 and 4. Who or what can be a new source of inspiration?
Who or what can be a new source of inspiration? For myself or for other people?
For you.
For me? I feel like anybody, God does nothing without reason. So it can be a person you can meet on the street. It can be a person you passing by in the grocery store that says some words to you. There are always little nuggets being dropped at random times from random people. So I feel like any time, any person, any experience can be something that can get you up there and learn a couple things.
Okay. All right. Last one. Number 1. Numero uno. What will you do for the first time in your life this year?
What would I do for the first time in my life this year? What would I do for the first time in my life this year? Ooh, that's a good one.
It's a good one. Right. We can choose another one if you need to. That's a difficult one. Right. I probably wouldn't even know.
I kind of want to think about that and like write it down.
Yeah, like, absolutely. Yeah. All right. Cool.
Let's go with 6.
All right. The time is ripe for
authenticity.
Ooh, dive deeper into
that. Being yourself, being transparent. I feel like not everyone, what you see on social media is the perfect person. When people actually gravitate towards, things that makes them feel more human. And the way for that is to be transparent, is to have an authenticity. And that's the way to set you apart. That's the way to have your calling, to get the people that are meant to be there.
Yeah.
Authenticity. I feel like that's the number one thing.
Yeah.
Number 1 hands down.
Absolutely. That's beautiful. Any final words before we close out? Any final words of inspiration? You've already given so much in the hour that we've been doing this. But we want to pull everything that we can from you, and we definitely hope that you come back.
Oh, definitely.
Because you are in your bag in a multitude of ways.
I got some things coming up too.
Okay.
All right. Next time.
All right. She got some things coming up, y'all.
But what I would say is that everything happens for a reason. There's nothing that happens without purpose. Every single little thing, every bad time, every good time, every in-between time is always a reason behind that. So take every negative that happens to you and know that there's a lesson behind it. And what lesson that is to get you closer to the purpose that was a reason for that. So just going forward, knowing that. Breathe easy, knowing that good times are great and bad times do not last, and they all are meant to get you somewhere where you need to go.
That's beautiful.
Just taking that.
That's beautiful. All right. So tell the people who are going to listen to this, who are not going to watch the YouTube video, but who are just going to listen. Tell them where they can follow you. Tell them the website one more time. Do your plugs.
Okay. So my personal page, you can follow me on lifeoflisha_ on IG. My event planning, you can follow me on visual_vibes EP. And those are my 2 Instagram pages. Facebook, my name is Lisha Wicks. So ERLESHA, last name WICKS. You can find me there. And, just plug in. I got a lot of great things coming, doing a lot of great things. And I would love to stay. I love to network and find different like-minded individuals to be around and to be inspired by, or to inspire, just have great friendships.
Beautiful thing. All right, y'all. Y'all know where y'all can find me at backpackjeff.com. Follow me on social media, Backpack Jeff. If you have not done so yet, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the Apple Podcasts, Anchor, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts at, wherever you are listening to us at. Go ahead on there and subscribe. This has been another episode of In My Bag with Backpack Jeff. Thank you, Lisha, for coming and being in your bag with us. Until next time, y'all.